We've all heard about how every superhero team, has that big origin story, right? That moment where it all began.
Right.
But get ready to have your mind blown, because we're going to be talking about a team of Avengers that predates, well, pretty much recorded history. We're going back like a million years.
Wow.
To uncover the secrets of Earth's prehistoric, get this, mightiest heroes.
And you couldn't pick a more fascinating team to dive into.
Oh, I know, right?
Honestly, we're talking about some, heavy hitters in the Marvel Universe, names that, they still resonate today,
For sure.
Big time.
So picture this, all right? It's a million years in the past, okay?
Yeah.
We've got humans who are sharing the planet with, saber-toothed tigers,
oh, yeah,
woolly mammoths.
Right.
And amidst all of that, there's this group of heroes who are facing threats that would make even Thor, nervous.
Yeah, we're not talking about your average, supervillain here.
All right.
This team went toe-to-toe with a celestial, a being of immense cosmic power, capable of, reshaping galaxies.
Mm-hmm. Right, and for anyone who maybe needs, a little bit of a refresher, Celestials are basically these, godlike beings that travel the cosmos, right? And they're, judging entire civilizations. They're the ultimate cosmic arbiters.
Yeah, and the prehistoric Avengers, they faced one called Zugreb.
Okay.
And Zugreb was infected by something called the Horde, and it's this cosmic infection that is so powerful, it can drive even a Celestial mad.
Oh, wow.
That's the kind of threat we're talking about here.
That's not exactly a walk in the park.
No, not at all.
For our prehistoric heroes.
No.
But here's the thing, Zugreb, he wasn't at full power because of that infection.
And thank goodness for that.
Right.
Can you imagine a fully powered Celestial going on a rampage?
Oh my God.
Earth wouldn't stand a chance. That detail alone tells you just how high the stakes were for this ancient team.
Totally. And speaking of the team, let's talk about the roster, because you've got Odin, but not, the Odin that we see, ruling Asgard.
Right.
This is Odin in his prime. Warrior King.
Founding member.
Yes. Founding member of this prehistoric team.
It makes you think, what was he like back then? What kind of experiences shaped him into the All-Father we know today? What was it like to even, fight alongside him?
And then there's the Phoenix Force.
Right.
But not embodied in Jean Grey. We're talking about a woman named Firehair.
Yeah.
An early human who wields this incredible power.
Talk about raw potential,
Right.
Imagine the Phoenix Force, this cosmic entity of creation and destruction, unleashed in a time when, humanity barely understood fire.
Right.
Let alone, cosmic energy.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't stop there. We've also got Agamotto.
Yes.
The first Sorcerer Supreme. So this is the origin point of that mystical lineage.
Yeah.
Long before Doctor Strange.
Long before, yeah.
Ever picked up the eye.
It's so cool to see how these ancient figures connect to the heroes that we know today.
I know, it's so cool.
It emphasizes how deep those roots go in the Marvel Universe.
Absolutely. And how about this for a blast from the past? The first Black Panther.
Yes.
His name is Mosi, and he proves that Wakanda's legacy stretches back to, the dawn of humanity.
That detail always sends chills down my spine.
I bet you.
It reminds us that the Black Panther isn't just a hero, it's a mantle.
Right.
Passed down through generations.
Yeah.
Protectors of Wakanda, since time immemorial.
And get this, we've even got Iron Fist on the team.
Right.
Though this one wasn't Danny Rand.
No.
It was a warrior named Fanfei, who was exiled from Kunlun, that mystical city that we know is tied to the Iron Fist legacy.
It's a good reminder that all these heroic mantles, as iconic as they were held by different people throughout history.
Totally.
Each one adding to the legend in their own way.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, now for a hero that even some diehard Marvel fans might not be super familiar with.
Okay.
Starbrand.
Okay.
And we're talking about it being infused with the energy of, a star.
Basically, think of it this way. Starbrand is like a walking, talking supernova.
Wow.
An incredible amount of power contained in one being.
That's a lot.
You do not want to get on their bad side.
And to round out this already awesome team, we have Ghost Rider.
Yes!
Except instead of a motorcycle, he's riding a flaming mammoth.
You've got to love that visual.
I know, right?
Talk about metal.
It's very metal.
It just goes to show you that no matter the era, Ghost Rider just embodies a certain level of, badassery.
Totally. Yeah, it really makes you wonder how those team meetings went.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But wait, because it gets even better.
Okay.
The team didn't stay static. Later on, they even had Moon Knight join the ranks.
Which makes you think, like, how many other heroes might have been involved in this, like, prehistoric era?
Right.
What other secrets are we still uncovering? It really opens up, like, a whole new world of possibilities.
I love it. So they've taken down a Celestial, infected by the Horde. I mean, talk about a baptism by fire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like sending out a beacon to every, like, powerful being in the universe. Like,
right.
Hey, something big just went down on Earth.
Right. And what kind of cosmic VIPs RSVP to that kind of invitation?
Well, you've got the first host.
Okay.
Not just one Celestial,
oh.
but, like, a whole delegation of them.
Oh, wow.
Imagine these colossal beings, like, descending from the heavens, ready to pass judgment on, like, a humanity still in its infancy.
Talk about pressure. So did our prehistoric heroes, like, manage to pull off another miracle.
Let's just say that even with the combined might of Odin, the Phoenix, and everybody else, the first host was just too powerful.
Yeah.
It was a crushing defeat for our heroes.
Oh, I bet that was a tough loss to swallow. But if the Celestials were judging humanity and this team lost, how come Earth wasn't just, like, wiped off the map?
That's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because instead of just wiping them out, the Celestials were, like, intrigued.
Right.
They saw something in this kind of ragtag team of prehistoric heroes that sparked their curiosity.
What could a group of, like, cave-dwelling heroes possibly have that would interest, beings like the Celestials? We're talking about beings that can create and destroy galaxies with a thought.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some scholars theorize that the Celestials, they saw potential in humanity.
Yeah.
Like a spark of something extraordinary that even they couldn't fully comprehend.
Interesting. So even in defeat, the prehistoric Avengers, they left their mark on the cosmos.
Oh, yeah.
They made these Celestials take notice, but that's not the only attention that they attracted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta talk about the time travelers.
Ah, yes, the time travelers. Because when you have a team this powerful, operating at such a pivotal point in history, everybody wants a piece of the action.
For sure.
Or they want to at least make sure that the action happens the way they want it to.
Totally. It's like that saying, the past is never dead, it's not even past.
Right.
Except in this case, the past is a bunch of superpowered beings fighting off cosmic threats.
Exactly. And the sources we have mentioned, encounters with some, like, pretty major players, a young Thanos, for instance.
Oh, wow.
Long before the Infinity Gauntlet and his obsession with, Mistress Death.
Thanos going back in time, what was he hoping to accomplish?
It's really hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Thanos is such a master strategist, always playing the long game.
Right.
It's possible he saw something in this era, like some event or maybe some artifact that he could, like, manipulate to his advantage in the future.
Knowing Thanos, it probably wasn't good.
Probably not.
But it wasn't just him, though, right? We're talking about multiple time travelers all trying to, like, stick their temporal fingers in the prehistoric pie.
Oh, absolutely. We even have records of Dr. Doom variants.
Okay.
Because there's always a Doom, isn't there?
I guess so.
Meddling in this era. And each one with their own agenda, of course.
It makes you wonder, with so many versions of Doom running around, like, do they ever bump into each other? Do they ever, like, team up?
Now that's a story for another deep dive.
That's true.
But perhaps the most persistent thorn in the prehistoric Avengers side was Mephisto.
Mephisto, the, like, literal devil. What was he doing in prehistory?
It seems like Mephisto had a particular vendetta against this team.
Really?
Some sources even claim that they fought him hundreds of times.
Hundreds of times.
Hundreds.
So this team wasn't just dealing with, like, external threats. It's like they were practically running a time-traveling villain of the week club.
It really makes you appreciate just how chaotic and significant this era was.
Totally. And it also makes you wonder how they even managed to, like, function as a team with all that going on.
Right.
Imagine trying to have a team meeting with Mephisto, like, popping in every other Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. And it wasn't just, external threats that they had to deal with.
Right.
Internal conflicts also played a huge part in, like, shaping this team's destiny.
Because what's a good superhero team without just a little bit of, like, drama, right?
Right.
And when you've got, like, gods and monsters in the mix,
yeah,
things are bound to get messy.
Bound to get messy, yeah. Odin and Phoenix, for example. I mean, their relationship was far from simple.
Okay.
We have records of Odin, like, attempting this kind of clumsy marriage proposal to Phoenix, let's just say. His, courtship skills needed a little work.
Ouch. rejected by a cosmic firebird? I mean, that's got to stink. Even for Odin, what went wrong? Was it just like bad timing?
I think it speaks to just like the fundamental differences between them,
Okay.
Odin, at that point in his life, he was so driven by like conquest and power.
Right.
But Phoenix, she's like a force of nature, as old as creation itself.
Right.
She wasn't interested in being, anyone's queen, especially not like a conqueror's.
It makes you wonder how that rejection kind of shaped Odin.
Yeah.
Like, did it contribute at all to the wisdom and, the restraint that we see in him later on? Did it make him rethink his priorities at all?
It's definitely something to consider.
Yeah.
But perhaps the most significant event that really shook this team to its core was the birth and death and rebirth of Thor.
Wait, what? Thor was born during this era? I thought that was like way later in Asgardian history.
Nope, it all went down right here with the prehistoric Avengers as witnesses.
Wow.
But it's a tale fraught with tragedy.
Oh no.
Yeah, Laufey, Thor's future nemesis.
Right.
Enraged by the death of his own children, he struck down the newborn god.
Thor killed as a baby. That's dark.
It is, but the story doesn't end there.
Okay.
Phoenix, who had a hand in Thor's birth in the first place, she used her power to bring him back to life.
Wow, I can only imagine how Odin felt about that. First, the rejection, and then Phoenix bringing his son back from the dead. Talk about, like, a complicated relationship.
Let's just say Odin wasn't exactly thrilled.
Right.
These events from, like, the disastrous proposal to Thor's resurrection, it had a really profound impact on both Odin and Phoenix. I mean, The echoes of this era, they reverberated throughout their long lives.
It's kind of wild when you think about it, like these figures that we always think of as like these myths and legends, they have their own like origin stories.
Yeah.
Their own messy family drama.
And just like us, all those experiences, they shaped who they became.
Totally.
It adds like a whole new layer to these characters, doesn't it?
It really does. So we've seen this prehistoric Avengers team go up against like a corrupted Celestial. We've seen them face down the first host.
Right.
And they fought off like more time travelers than you can shake a cosmic stick at.
Mm-hmm.
But what was their lasting impact? Did their actions actually change anything? Like in the grand scheme of things?
I think there's no doubt about it. The prehistoric Avengers, they were more than just like a footnote in history. They were pioneers. Like they paved the way for, every hero that came after.
Like the Avengers that we know today, like the ones with, the fancy towers and the Quinjets, they owe kind of a debt to this prehistoric team.
I mean, think about it. It's like a legacy of heroism, right? That's been passed down, like through the ages. The idea of a team, like a group of individuals with extraordinary abilities coming together to face threats that no one else could handle, That concept, like, took root 1,000,000 years ago with these heroes.
So even though their story is kind of, like, lost to the mists of time, it still resonates, like, today.
Oh, 100%.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder that, even in the face of, like, overwhelming odds,
right.
Even when you're confronting forces beyond, like, our comprehension, there's always hope, There's always that potential for courage, for selflessness, for heroism.
And that is a message that transcends time.
For sure.
It's as relevant today as it was 1,000,000 years ago. Well, folks, there you have it. A glimpse into the incredible world of the Avengers, 1,000,000 BC.
And we've only just, like, scratched the surface.
Yeah,
there are still so many unanswered questions, so many mysteries surrounding this, like, prehistoric era.
It really makes you wonder, like, what other secrets are still buried in those prehistoric ruins, right?
Oh, yeah.
What other heroes, might we uncover? What other stories are just waiting to be told? I mean, it's enough to make you want to, like, grab a shovel and start digging.
Or at least, pick up another comic book.
Yeah.
Who knows what wonders you might uncover?
That's the beauty of the Marvel Universe, isn't it?
It really is.
There's always more to explore, and we want to hear your thoughts on this deep dive.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite prehistoric Avenger? What surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring.